the homeowner would have no recourse to their insurance company because they definitely deny the claim because there's no permit for what happened. Second of all, by connecting directly to a building pipe, if something were to happen at that juncture that caused a problem, a major problem somewhere else, I don't think the association would have any recourse either as far as insurance goes, because it's partly the homeowner and partly the building in terms of the piping. So unfortunately, I think those are big issues, and that's why we have insurance.
But not only that, Richard, but I'm also wondering, after we go ahead and we line all the pipes, you're opening this up that any plumber could then go into our line pipe and cut it and connect another T into it. Because it's been done once, it can be done every time.
It's a good point.
And we're paying a lot of money for that.
Andrew, the washer dryers, where are they connected to? Most of them that you know of?
Our
Most
kitchen,
of them
our
are
kitchen waste
connected into the main sewer stack that deals with the back-to-back toilets. This is an odd one in my understanding that's in the kitchen stack. But I think most of them still branch into the main stack for the toilets.
Yeah. So typically in other condominium associations, the unit owner should never install any of their individual plumbing to a main building stack, right? Your main building pipes should be untouched. You don't want contractors messing with that. Only whoever you hire as an association to deal with main building issues. So the automatically correct answer would be for her to rewrite her piping. But the consideration is for her petition to be given an exception because in order for her to reroute it to her bathroom, she has just completed a renovation in her unit, spent a lot of money and just did it. She would have to undo this all her tile work to run it back to her bathroom and connect it to her piping. And that's the hardship that she is trying to express to the board. But the reality is that what's right is right, and you shouldn't have a unit owner connection directly to the main building pipe. I think that Stuart is correct, and Richard as well, when you're talking about the validity, the fact that you're setting a precedent. If you say yes to this unit owner, then in the future you can not really say no to anyone else, and that means you do not control who is getting into your tapping into your main pipes. Yes, do they eventually branch into our main pipes? Well, of course, but that's not the point. The point is their units are supposed to have their individual pipes serving their units, not touching our main pipes. So that's the hard discussion.
Well, putting it back on the owner, can they negotiate with the plumber to connect it into the piping under the sink?
That was done many years ago, I believe.
Which is the unit owner's stuff anyway.
That would be the correct way to do it.
So let them explore that. Then it can be done to code and meet our requirement as well.
And we can communicate that to the unit owner. The plumber.
We probably already just did.
Yes, I did. Yes.
You know, if we, like you say, if we allow that pipe to stay there, the integrity of our stacked building pipes, if everybody starts doing it and there's issues like everybody's been saying in the walls, and it's the one from the wash machine that goes into whatever pipe, then, you know, who's really liable for that? And then, you know, how do you really put a blame on the unit owner, or not the blame, but the issue to the unit owner or the building? So
This really should be no different than connecting a dishwasher to your kitchen pipes.
right.
It could be just set up the same exact way for the waste pipe to go down.
And again, this is no fault of the unit owner. I mean, it was only uncovered because of a cracked pipe, but yet things happen. And, it's not always the way we want them to be, but we really can't have the pipe into our pipe. So what are we gonna, do we make a motion that they contact the plumber? And see,
They,
So to redo the plumbing with the correct permit from the city of Pompano Beach and to discuss with their plumber that it could be routed to their individual plumbing under the kitchen sinks. Andrew, is that correct?
Yeah, I wouldn't try to get too specific about where and how, but it tee into the kitchen drains before the main stack.
right.
okay.
All right.
So
Is that the motion?
they will make a motion.
I'll
To,
second it.
All in favor?
Yes.
Unanimous.
unanimous. Okay. Okay, we'll move on, discuss and approve connection elevator change order. Okay, we talked about that up in old business. So,
Are you ready to make a motion?
ready to make a motion?
Stuart, you can make your motion now.
Go ahead, Stuart.
What's my motion?
For the connections elevator to get the,
I make a motion to approve the connections elevator change order to balance the weight, but
you'll
to
send-
continue to inspect for the other cabs that we don't incur the same issue.
For how much money?
it's
3,000?
33.28,
Right.
Okay.
about $800,
Like it.
roughly about,
I don't like it, but I'll go along with it.
Yeah, I'm not happy. Nobody's happy with this.
And
But
to
we
send
gotta-
them a letter, right? And to
Yes.
send them a letter that we're paying it.
Under protest.
okay.
Does someone second that motion?
I second the motion.
All in
All in
favor?
favor?
Everyone vote?
Aye.
Yes, aye.
Yes,
Yes.
6-0.
And you know what? There was a question before about when the service elevator would be back up and running. So
When
we
the
don't
city
know
approves-
because
when
it
the
has to
city
be,
approves the inspection.
it has to be re-inspected. And from what has to be done now, there's a lead time in getting the parts, which is 2 to 4 weeks.
Right.
So you've got that, and then you've got the work that has to be done, and then an inspection.
Is there a way we can,
I understand they're trying to get a date for the reinspection now.
and Stuart, maybe we can, instead of having this go through, Avid Exchange and wait 2 weeks for it to go through Avid Exchange, maybe we can do a handwritten check with the deposit, so they can, or they commit,
Sure.
yes, please.
so we can get it moved forward.
You can do a dummy check on that.
Okay.
Okay. Next.
Okay, D, discuss and approve all Florida window parts. This is for 2 units, actually, 2 units in the building.
No, I think 700 is just for the one.
Yeah, it's the cost for repairing the windows in a unit with
700.
window hardware, weather stripping repair,
1 unit.
916, comes to $754.86.
Is that for 2 units, Bill? Half of that,
That's
One
one
unit.
unit.
1 unit. We've got the. proposal.
$700 for 1 unit. Now,
Yes,
that's labor and material to install the new seals.
Remember,
True.
the second invoice, there was already work on 1 window. This is for the remainder of the windows. You previously approved for 1. Now this is for the remainder of the windows in that unit.
This is all the windows in a single unit.
This
Yes.
is, no, they've already done work for 1 unit, 1 window in the
There's-
unit.
there's 8 windows left.
Right, right?
Yes, 8.
I've lost track of who's on first.
Yeah,
How much money for all the windows?
Except one.
yeah. 1 was done previously, and there's 8 more for repair and resealing of windows.
Is that a
And
reasonable?
then we have a second unit.
Yes, we do have a second unit, and I would suggest we,
We requested a proposal, so when that comes in, it'll be sent to the board as well.
Okay, because I know that unit said that they're leaving Florida, and they'd like to get it done before they leave.
So,
Yes, the contractor should be getting that in.
so I make a motion to accept the bid of $754.86 to replace the windows and seals in unit 916.
Okay, I approve. I second it.
I approve.
I'll
Uh,
go along with.
Approved.
Approve.
So
Okay,
I have a question while we're on that, Bill.
Yeah.
So I've seen some emails going back and forth on the second unit on 18, what is it, 1808, right?
1808.
Saying, oh, the material's been ordered, and I guess this is going back 3 or 4 months already. The material is on back order, the material's on back order with no date as to when the material is going to come in. And now we're finding out that there hasn't even been a proposal on that in 3 or 4 months.
I don't
So-
know for the window seals or the things on the side of the windows that pop,
The
The-
spring balance.
And the
Balances.
rods.
the rods, because
So,
those rods don't come from local, they come from, I believe, overseas.
Right. Yeah, I can look into that unit. It's possible. We do the rods in the unit. So the rods are separate from the
Gas.
seals and these things that we're doing here. That's why we've contracted it out. So we may have done rods in that unit. But I know Seth had not moved on to that unit because he was still having, unfortunately, not getting approved the invoice for the first unit. I think there was a bit of consideration on the board's part before getting this approved, so then we put it on the agenda. There was discussion as to whether you guys were gonna approve this or not, so he didn't have the green light to move on to the next unit. That's why we're just getting on the proposal on the next unit. And now that you've approved this, they'll move forward with the second one.
Okay, so you can. get-
I'd like the building to own the ceiling material and stock it in 1,000-foot rolls. Because
I agree with you.
when Gabriel's or George or whoever's changing the spring balances, they've got the window out in their hand. 5 more minutes would slide new seals in. This is not rocket science.
We did ask Gabriel the last time that this company was here to stay with them and observe how they did it. So, when Gabriel is back, we can ask him about whether.
No, I don't want to ask Gabriel. I want to tell him we are going to stock this ceiling material and you will install it.
And I think somebody else should also be trained along with him, so we have 2 people who handle it.
Of course,
Yes,
yes, he should train everybody on his staff to do it. That way anyone can address work orders.
So if you get the 2 kinds of ceiling material, get 1,000-foot rolls of both kinds ordered to stock in the building along with more spring balances.
Yeah, the balances and rods we ordinarily order. So yes, we'll
Well,
look into
just
scheduling.
add to that reordering the ceiling materials to go with it.
Okay,
maybe you can order for more windows.
okay.
So what is it that we haven't, what parts is it that we haven't been able to obtain in the past 4 months?
I think it's the ceiling gaskets.
It was
I
the
believe that was
gasket.
it.
Yes, it was the gasket. Even Eurotech, I think, if I remember correctly, Eurotech did not do gaskets. So they made us go to check with another company. We had to locate they called a couple of companies that didn't have gaskets or wouldn't just do the gasket. Because sometimes you have companies do that as well. They're not gonna come out just for a small job. This company agreed to it. They came and then they gave us a proposal.
Okay,
See, a
so
chat just popped up about somebody else requesting it. We have not seen it. I have not seen another request. If you did, please put a new work order in. Whoever just wrote that chat.
Okay?
Okay,
Item E.
item E, discussion and approve consideration of levying fines for unit 927 and 1805.
Right.
So,
927, so we've had noise complaints, from the unit below that 927 apparently may not have, adequate soundproofing